One thing I never asked you, like I don't want to, because you're so into the ecosystem of basketball that I don't want you to disclose who's your favorite team. But what has been your favorite rivalry in basketball that you been in an arena and you say, this is madness?
I mean, beyond the rivalry per se, it's the moment. And it was a moment, it was the Final Four of 2012 in Istanbul. And that Final Four, that season, the 11-12, was the one that started with the lockout in the NBA. So at the beginning of that season, you had some top players playing and so on. I remember that distinctly because that Final Four, you had Barca, Panathinaikos and Olympiacos, and CSKA Moscow. In CSKA Moscow was Kirilenka playing. They came and stayed to finish the season, right? All right. When we get to there, it's a high-stakes Final Four, top security. So it's Istanbul, the two biggest Greek clubs, right? So security off the charts. Added to that weekend was the week. You know that I don't know now, but at the time the Super League of football of Turkey, they did playoffs. They didn't do like the finals, and they did a playoff. And the playoff was Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray. Oof. That weekend was the do or die game. The last game was that Saturday, which Galatasaray won as well. So the city was vibrant, but you knew something was gonna explode, and it exploded for the final. In the semifinal, Panathinaikos got knocked out, I think, by CSKA, and Olympiacos knocked out Barca. Last minute shot, they went to the final. On Friday, the management and the players, they were celebrating like that was it. I mean, they went to the final. They didn't plan to be in the Final Four. Come to the final, third quarter, they're down 19 points. And they come back. And there's a guy that is called Vasilis Spanoulis, which even today, he's now a coach, but even today, I will put him in my team anyway, over any other players. There's no player that is more clutch than Spanoulis. Boom, 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 great game. They go, last second, Printezis hits a two-pointer floater from the side of the 1 second, people is starting going down to the court. We are already there with Alex Ferrer with the cup. At that time, we gave the original EuroLeague cup. Then we sent a replica, but we wanted that moment to be genuine. So we're there with a cup, and we're starting seeing people coming down, and the police kind of overwhelmed. And when the game ends, field invasion, I don't know why or how, we took Alex with the cup and did like a rugby melee to lift him up so no one could grab the trophy. That was a moment I thought that I wouldn't get alive out of the arena. So for me, that's the most defining moment of basketball that I ever lived in, especially in Europe.
And when you go, not talking about the final, which is a very, very special moment, but an arena where you've been and you say, these fans are...
Belgrade. Belgrade.
I mean, I've seen some videos.
You need to go there. You need to go there. Now, I think in a couple of weeks' time or a few weeks' time, they have a derby there. I think of local league or EuroLeague maybe. And it's probably the most out-of-body experience that you will have.
That's something that it's very interesting for me, because if you bring the NBA know-how and you put into the mix the passion, because yes, the NBA is the best.
Yep.
No doubt.
No doubt.
You have the best players. They're the best telling the stories. They are the best doing the show. They're the best. But the passion that you have in Europe, US dreams. You don't have it.
You cannot replicate that.
It's impossible to replicate. It's impossible. So that arena, that atmosphere that you see in Belgrade or in Athens or in Istanbul, it's impossible to replicate.
No, I mean, I'm telling you this very honestly. I'm a capitalist. I really believe in the market forces and how things play out. But there's in sports particularly, there's an unknown factor, an intangible, that that it's beyond, Adam Smith's invisible hand, right? It's something else. And it's what makes a product. What I think will happen now in the next few months for Europe, I think people that is focusing too much on it or thinking that it's not going to happen, it's mistaken. It's going to happen. I never seen a U.S. sports commissioner come out and announce something that they don't have a clear plan of doing it. Another thing is if they share it or not with the rest of the ecosystem. But I've never seen them go out on a limb to see what's what and have no. They know what they are doing. So I definitely believe that it's going to happen. If it's 27 or 28, that's debatable. I think it suits better that it's in the 28. You can completely officially launch it on the finals of Olympics in Los Angeles and kind of create a global showcase of it. But if they're ready for 27, so be it. So we'll be here. The thing that I think is going to happen is that will reshift global basketball together. Why they are doing that? And this is what people need to start thinking. They are doing this because the American model, except for the NFL, if it's not saturated, it's seeing the saturation point very near. So you need to, as an enterprise, as a private enterprise, you need to create the different avenues of revenue or growth. And the most strong piece of the assets of the NBA is the NBA brand. The commissioner in March said something in the press conference that they did with the Secretary General of FIBA, which was very telling, at least for me, from a business and strategic perspective, which is he positioned the NBA not as a league, but as a league operator. And they operate the NBA, they operate the G League, they help operate the WNBA, they operate the Basketball Africa League, they have their grassroots programs, so they know how to operate commercially and successfully leagues and products. What they are testing here and what they are reshifting in Africa, why would they stop there? Why wouldn't they create a GCC league or a MENA league or a Middle Eastern league, a new Asian league, a new Latin American league? That's what they do. They are league operators. So that's for me, as an observer and analyst and helping people that want to invest in this sport, that's where I'm focusing in. I know as a fact that they are going to come to Europe. They will succeed or not, we'll see. It's going to be 12 teams or 16 teams or 20 teams. It's going to be a piece with the EuroLeague. I truly hope so, and with FIBA. But the thing is, what happens afterwards, and that's the important part.
Yeah, it's incredible how you said before, how politics sometimes get into the middle of sports, and companies like the NBA, EuroLeague, and federations like FIBA that should be working together to
grow the game.
To grow the game, which is the ultimate goal. And by growing the game, you get more people playing, more eyeballs, more attention for a sponsor, and they fight in these battles that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, one of my clients now that I cannot disclose precisely now, but it's in basketball as well, right? And it said the strategy for growth of basketball is growth through participation. If you're not creating, especially if you are developing a league in a young market, if you're not creating new fans, but not fans consumers, fans practitioners, you won't be able to create your local heroes, you won't be able to create the guys that will buy the ticket, buy the merch in the future.